regardless of if we sold the house or not, we had still intended to move out here.
Yeah.
We had kind of come to that conclusion. Like, if we have to rent the house out, then we'll rent it. But we need to get away. Hello, my name is Mrs. Melanin.
And I'm BELEAF Mel.
And we're here with episode 225 of
How Married Are You? My name BELEAF. This is Yvette. We married 13 years. Live in California. We got 4 kids. Relationship scary. It's very necessary. We share our love struggles. We ask how married are you? Every Tuesday and Thursday, shawty. If you're listening, you're in the wedding party. It's okay if you want to put your hands up. You got the questions. We got the answers.
It's chocolate baby story time.
Chocolate baby story time.
It's chocolate baby story time.
1, 2, 3, and...
Good morning. I need a hug.
It's chocolate baby story time.
All right, so we're here, chocolate baby story time, and we have chocolate babies here. So, what? Babe, are you here?
I just told him he has to take his diaper off before he goes outside and jump.
Babe, let's focus on this, please, so they can figure out life. All right.
Do you smell it?
Oh, go do something with yourself, boy. All right, so anyway, chocolate baby story time. So what do we have, babe?
You just sounded like a Trinidadian when you said that.
Oh my gosh. All right, so I gotta fight Yvette's ADHD. So we gotta make sure we precise.
Okay.
All right.
You go first.
Okay, so chocolate baby story time, man. I took Ryan for a walk. First time I took him for a walk, I'm gonna let y'all know, man. We went on this walk. It's a 4-mile walk. We were only supposed to do like a half a mile, and then he went like, he was like, man, I want to see what's behind that hill. I want to see what's over there. I want to do the walk you usually do. He's feeling overly confident, as Rice sometimes does. And we went on this hike, and homeboy just knew he wasn't gonna make it, and he was discouraging himself. And I put it all on my IG stories, and it got a lot of engagement. But it was like, he was so like, man, he cried. He kept discouraging himself. He was saying so many negative things, and I just was like, yo, we really need to work on your your self-talk. And so I was trying to teach him to encourage himself the whole way. And we got through it. But I'm trying to tell you, there were certain points in that walk I felt like I was a bad dad. Like, I felt like I was doing a bad job as a father, because he was so, like, he fell out, he was crying. He just knew he wasn't physically able to do it. But the very next time, which was 1 week later, we went with my dad. Dude was fine. He didn't complain once. He has his own goal. He said he wants to lose weight. And I was just like, okay, cool. Well, how can I help you? And I was trying to help him. And it was very, very, very interesting and dope. Yeah. What's your chocolate baby story time?
So, Anaya has decided that she no longer wants braids, or like, she wants to take a break from braids. She wants to wear her natural hair, and I'm still here for that. I have been keeping her hair in braids because I feel like it's just easier on me. I praise the Lord that I only had one daughter. I thought I wanted 2, but when I think about the hair, I'm like, oh, praise the Lord, because I think that would have been a lot for me.
Yeah.
Unless one of them decided to get locks, that would be nice. Anaya has no interest in locks. She wants me to comb my hair out so that my hair looks like hers. Have you heard her say that?
Anaya, her asks are just so
she
crazy.
She has some extreme asks. But yeah, so I'm actually really excited for her and her natural hair journey. This is gonna be fun. So get ready for all the cute twist outs and other things that come from figuring out what we're gonna do. Excuse me. I'm so sorry. I still yawn. I was watching episodes back and I was like, wow, I yawn a lot.
Well,
I got to get oxygen to my brain.
you're not being forced to do this.
I'm not being forced to do this.
We was,
I'm just always tired. I need to get my eating better and take my vitamins. What's happening?
I feel like, yeah. So the kids we just put up a trampoline for the kids. And it's not really secure. But
I can't believe you're telling that to the internet.
I'm trying. Like, it was a lot yesterday. Anyway, we back, man. Welcome back. So we gotta let you guys know something. You know, Yvette is gonna be starting this community soon for the How Married Are You audience. I know you guys heard about it from last episode, 224. We haven't done that yet, right? Right. So Yvette's working on that.
Oh,
but I gotta
gosh.
let you guys know, man. We have taken 50% off our premarital e-course.
Yes.
Okay, premarital advantage is available right now, 50% off. And I wonder if we should drop it lower. As a matter of fact, just click the link to see what the price is because we may have dropped it lower, but we may not. I'm not sure yet. We'll see. But man, we have decided to make this e-course. We made it a couple years ago because we just got so frustrated with the amount of communication that wasn't happening in relationships and amount of like heartbreak that was happening so often. And we sorry about the echo. As you can see, we're in a new place if you haven't noticed. But yeah, like it just was so much pain and heartbreak and all this stuff. And I was just like, dang, it has to be simpler to this. So we made an e-course of all the conversations you should be having before you get married, right? Before you even consider like, hey, this might be the person. We're talking about what is the definition of intercourse because some people don't know that, right? We're talking about how to have goals, like individual goals and like community goals within a unit, right? So many times you get into relationships and you think, oh, I'm not ready to settle down, or after this, I'll settle down and I'll figure out, you know, what I want to do. Button your pants, boy. Right? But those things don't have to die because you get in a relationship or you become a parent, right? Like it's just conversations you need to have. So I just we wanted to really just kind of bless the community and really strengthen our wedding party because we do believe in marriage. We do believe in community. We do believe in love, Black love especially. And so I think that we aren't really taught how to love well. You know, if we just go off of watching our parents or seeing people around us, how do you have those tough conversations? How do you choose well? How do you make sure that you are making the right decision on the daily? And that's what we're talking about in this e-course, man. So it's very cheap for the value. And we put a lot of effort and work into it. For those people that did already, go ahead, buddy. For those people that already purchased or are purchasing the e-course, we're going to make it worth it for you for sure because I have a whole nother e-course that is called The Art of Fatherhood that is just about becoming like how to love your spouse while they're pregnant, you know, and I think that is very valuable as well. So, yeah, equipping fathers
They're probably out there having a good old time screaming and whatever, and Glenn is alarmed. Am I right?
Yeah. Did I put
You
this on
gotta
you?
be able. You did.
Oh, God.
Here, I'll leave one ear off so that I know, because I know their screams. I know when it's terror and I know when it's joy.
What was I saying?
You were saying that you're gonna make it worth the people who've already purchased it because you got the Art of Fatherhood.
Yeah,
coming.
we're equipping fathers, giving hope to mothers, and inspiring children. And we really want to add value to families. That's like the most important thing. So, yeah. All right. You're on number 2.
Oh, Lily's gonna be freaking out. So, for those of you who are listening,
No, lay down. Sorry, go ahead.
for those of you guys who are listening and you can't see what's going on, we are in our home recording today. We're not just in our home. In front of us, we have the kitchen, and behind us, we have the living room. And so the kids are up and at it, and you might see a lot of in and out and all the things. So, I mean, you might not see it, you might hear it. So I just wanted to give you guys a little background as far as what is going on, so that you are not like, what are they talking about? That was random.
Yeah.
Because there's already been some random things, and I'm not sure how much is going to be edited out. So here we are.
All right. So we're talking about. So we left a bunch of questions. We asked you guys to ask questions about what's been happening in our life. So there's certain things that we've done and a lot of things that we've done. So these are just going to be a bunch of like updates, really.
Yes.
But these are important updates because one big thing, if you're here and you're watching, you realize we moved.
Yes.
We moved. We are in a different location.
Unless they don't follow us, maybe they just listen and watch the podcast,
Yeah.
and they've never seen what the inside of our home looks like.
Yeah. So we moved on a farm, and the farm has been very interesting adjustment. We live in the middle of nowhere, and we're like 30 minutes from a store. You know what I'm saying? Like we're out of touch. And a lot of people are asking why. And I think that one of the main reasons is that we wanted to kind of slow life down. There was a lot of stuff in the way, including, my work. Certain relationships were also in the way. You want to speak to any of this or?
I was going to start back a little bit.
Okay.
We probably should talk about.
All right. So I do want to talk about the move because I feel like it's the biggest thing first.
But when we say we moved to a farm, I just want to kind of let people know what farm we moved to.
Why?
Because I think people are like thinking we have cows and animals and things like that. We moved to a pistachio farm. Is that how you say it? Pistachio?
Yeah, farmland.
We don't necessarily have, because some of the questions are asking, well, how is the labor on the farm interfering with family life and stuff? And it's not because there's not much. We moved onto the farm and we had 8 or 9 chickens to start.
8.
And then we had a cat. So those are the only animals that we had. And notice I'm using past tense because the cat went missing.
It got eaten by a coyote, most
we
likely.
assume that that's what happened, and we lost several chickens.
4 chickens.
We lost 4 chickens, and then
to the coyote.
And then we have another update coming up, which we won't say quite yet. But because of this update, we were like, okay, we got to get rid of the chickens.
Yeah.
So we just literally this weekend
gave away
the remaining chickens. Which was kind of sad.
Yeah.
I am kind of bummed about that because getting fresh eggs in the morning and making them for breakfast was a very nice thing. Eventually, one day we will get chickens again, but in this season, I just think the responsible thing was to let them go.
Yeah, yeah. I think that the chickens are actually pretty bougie. They need a clean coop and all that stuff, and all that stuff to want to lay their own eggs and stuff.
I need Kleenex.
So that's one thing, but then it's also super hot out here. We're in the desert, and this is a really hot part of the desert, right? So we're not in order to keep the chickens cool. It takes a lot, right? So, and I'm okay to do the work, but it just wasn't fair. It felt almost inhumane to deal with the chickens that way, and so we just let them go. So that's the chicken update. Now Yvette's gonna talk about Yvette Unplugged.
Okay, so since I know you guys have gotten a couple of episodes before this one. Those were all recorded months ago before I left for the Unplugged retreat, which was Mother's Day weekend, which was back in May. And the reason that they're just getting up is because it's just been a very hectic, crazy season of transition. we during that time, I think we were dealing with showing the house.
Yeah.
So we would have to like get all the kids out of the house, clean the house, and do all the things, and also pack and then like purge, because we moved from our home, our 4 bedroom home,
2,300 square foot.
2,300 square foot home to what is this?
This is like 700 square
Yeah, I think it's 800 square feet. So we had to downsize quite a bit. It was a lot of things going on, homeschooling. It was a lot. And so it took us a minute to edit those episodes. And as you can see, those episodes were very adventurous, as far as Glenn doing my hair on camera and us talking. So it wasn't necessarily an easy edit. And in the midst of that, we were moving. And then I was also on my way to the Unplugged retreat for moms. And so it was a lot.
Yeah.
But I will say that the Unplugged retreat ended up coming at just the right time for me, at least, because of all of life that was happening and all the movement. It was a nice opportunity. And you know what's interesting is I felt like the Unplugged retreat was going to be work, but it wasn't as much work as I had anticipated it to be. I feel like I was able to relax with the moms and I wasn't necessarily at the center of it. It was everything I had desired for it to be, as far as being able to cultivate a space for moms to truly unplug from their daily lives and routines and responsibilities, and to be able to just be in community with each other, and to be able to watch them make connections during, like, at the resort, and experience the treatments and have the conversations that they haven't been able to have, or even just to be able to relate to women in a way that they haven't been able to relate in a while, was beautiful. The first night, I don't know, what should I say? I don't know what to say about it. It was
Everything. Say everything.
It was a dream come true. It really was. Initially I had planned, I think I don't remember how many people, 25?
25, yeah.
I think I had planned for 25 moms to come to the retreat. I knew I wanted it to be small, and I ended up capping it at 10. And I am so glad that happened because I feel like that was the perfect number. And even the moms, last night we had a bonfire and they were like, let's do this again and keep it small. Because I was like, oh, should I open it up to like 30 people or whatever? And they're like, no, absolutely not. So I don't know, y'all. I feel like the next time you see me sell tickets, you need to buy your ticket immediately, because those moms will probably be trying to get back to the retreat. And so, I mean, which is totally welcome. I'm just saying, if you were like, I want to go, but I don't know, you just need to go. It was amazing. Yeah. I don't know what to say. It was amazing. A few of the moms got together since we've been gone. They all lived in Texas and met somewhere in Texas and got together. And so that was super sweet. But it's like lifelong connections have been made, and we still have a group chat going. So
yeah, it's dope.
It was fun. It was a lot of fun.
And like, some women brought their talents there and their gifts.
Yeah.
Burdens were laid down. Some people got out of their shell. This is all stuff this is hearsay for me. But it seemed like it was a peace when you came back. It was like a goodness and a joy. And I don't think it's fair that moms don't get that more often. You know what I'm saying? Especially, some of y'all just don't want to let y'all kids be watched by anybody else but yourself.
Yeah, and some of the moms had said that was the first time that they left their child with their husband, which, like, for that long of a time, I'm sure. Yeah. But I think that was also a really nice thing to see. And I think it was really beautiful for them to experience too, that when they came back, maybe things weren't as whatever, but everyone's still alive. And so,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Absolutely. So, are you? What do we talk about next, Ben? Because you want me to go in order.
Well, I don't know. Yeah. So we moved to, people are wanting to know. So the biggest question is
Why?
Why? What happened? What led
Lily,
you
no.
to
No.
move to the farm?
When we talk about that, and you.
I think it all starts with selling the house. I
Yeah.
think the why behind that
Yeah.
is where we begin.
Okay, can you let her out for me real quick? So, the why behind selling a house, it really was like, we were getting to the point where, our business had changed and overhead got too much. I was trying to keep business afloat, but then at the same time, I was like, I don't even want the business like this. Like, Belief in Fatherhood started out as a YouTube channel where we were supposed to, and this is our main channel, right? Belief in Fatherhood. This, How Married Are You is our second channel. It's our like passion project for marriages, right? But Belief in Fatherhood was like, I'm trying to tell stories about me as a father because I always wanted to be a dad. I never knew how. Like, I never really seen how to be a father. And I believe it's the most important role next to being a husband. Is the most important role you'll ever play. It's the role that will last the longest, right? It's the most intentional role you'll have because it'll last forever. So I didn't want to build an agency. It's just stuff that kind of fell in my place. And I realized too that like San Diego isn't the best place for like my audience or Black creatives. You know what I'm saying? And so all the people that I'm having to rub shoulders with, I don't necessarily align with. So I'm having to kind of code switch and become something different in order to like start this agency, which is like was really the big idea. And I'm getting to the place where we're having these conversations and I'm like stressed every day. Then Yvette and I weren't good, like at all. Like we were finding the good, but there was a lot of bad stuff happening. And we talk about it in those last like episode 22, 23, and 24. We kind of float around this concept a lot. And, I think we got to the point maybe early February, maybe, where it was kind of like, well, we both got to the point where it's kind of like, all right, well, we're both kind of done. And I was more done than I've ever been, and I realized I'm not working. I'm not doing the work I want to do. Right. The relationship that I feel like I've been putting all my energy into for the past 13 years or whatever. I feel like it was falling apart to me. You know what I'm saying? And, I just was like, I don't, and physically my body was breaking down. These kids. And so I was like, oh, I'm not living the life I want. Like nothing I'm doing, and I'm trying to make everybody comfortable. And our house is nice, and all this stuff is perfect, right? And the influencer, like from the outside looking in, and I hated every part of it. You know what I mean? Like, granted, I love my wife, I love my kids, the people I'm around, awesome. But the way things were functioning, like what it was costing me, it was too much. And so selfishly, I was like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. I don't want to live like this. This isn't the life I want to live. And then I was talking to my therapist, right? He's like, okay, well, what would you do if you could like do things your way? Like if you could start over or do whatever, like what would you do? And I was like, well, I hit the road. I'd get an RV and travel with my family, and we'd have a lot of time together, and I would still make videos, and we would do whatever we could to, but my son, my oldest son is 11, and I know by the time he's 15, right, he's not going to want to hop in an RV and go on these adventures. And, and that's probably where I'd be financially at the state where I'm like, okay, I'll do this. And I'm like, all my money is, kind of wrapped up in the house or wrapped up in a business. Like, why not get rid of those things and just go do something while time allows us to? And I would make these next 3 to 5 years some of the best memories I could ever imagine, because middle school is just tough. And there's a lot of opinions that you care about, right? And family isn't always priority, when you hit those like teenagers. And so I would make these years the best years ever. And he was like, okay, well, why don't you do that? Like, what's stopping you? And I was like, I don't know. So we put the house up. I told Yvette that that's what I wanted to do. And she was aligned, weirdly. She goes, I'm down for you, babe. Whatever you want to do, babe. I'm with you, babe.
Yeah, and I don't think it's just that, because if I thought it was a ridiculous idea or irresponsible idea, then I would have spoken up. But at this time, I realized that Glenn's peace, his peace of mind, his health, all the things were my priority. And if this is what he expressed he needed, then I was willing to move forward with it. And so that's how that wasn't just a like, you know what I mean?
Well, I do think, but it was like we were not in agreement about so many different things, but this one thing we weren't aligned on.
This one thing we weren't?
We were aligned on this one thing. Is like, this is not the life we want. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah.
And so with that being said, I almost believe that, I don't know. It was how everything worked out. It was strangely frustrating and like very serendipitous, because Yvette was going through like a thing where the thing that she loved the most, which we will talk about in the community, the thing that we loved the most, the thing that she loved the most, like, was falling apart. Her foundation was breaking. My work, the thing that I have relied on the most, my work ethic, my creativity, was kind of falling apart. The foundation was breaking. And then we went to sell our house. We put it up on the market.
Oh my goodness.
And we found out that the foundation of our home was falling apart. It had all the water from the rain that was happening in the area was pulled under the house, cracking the rebar in the cement of our home.
It was actually a structural design thing, if that makes sense. Like, whoever built the house, the architect who designed the house, like, messed up.
Yeah.
But over the course of several decades of the house existing, this had been happening.
Yeah. And so we couldn't sell it. Nobody was trying to.
We had 3 different buyers.
3 different buyers, 3 different backouts.
No, it was 2 different backouts.
2 different backouts.
The third people
But this
bought
isn't,
it.
yeah.
The third people tried to back out at one point.
Yeah, we were like, look, what we got to do to get this thing off the ground? And so we had to get our foundation redone. It was crazy. It was so hard, so much bad news in such little time. Mm-hmm. And we were just stressed upon stress upon stress. But then at some point, we were sitting there like, I don't know if it get, I mean, it could probably get worse than this, but like, our attitude isn't really going to make it any better. You know what I'm saying? Like, whether we're sad or not. I think you need to come closer this way. It seems like you're right in front of your microphone. Like, our attitude toward the house and how we feel, like, we need to just keep our own peace. Mm-hmm. And that was really it. Like, we just tried to keep our own peace and left it alone, you know.
I also think, like, in the like, as Glenn expressed, we realized we were living a life that we didn't really want to live. Mm. I feel like there was a lot of settling happening during that time, where it was like, well, these are the cards that have been dealt to us, let's just play them instead of buying a new deck of cards type thing. And I feel like we that was it. We were tired of settling because we realized that it wasn't necessarily giving us any kind of true joy or happiness. And so the move was in order to pursue the life we wanted. And so regardless of if we sold the house or not, we had still intended to move out here.
Yeah.
We had kind of come to that conclusion. Like, if we have to rent the house out, then we'll rent it, but we need to get away. So anyways, Glenn had the idea of the farm. How did that come up, Bev?
Yeah. So
Can't hear you.
we have a friend who, has a farm. He lived on a farm, but he wanted to move, right? And so we were like, man, he's got like 20 acres. So we were like, man, how do you feel about like possibly like, having somebody build on your property? You know what I'm saying? That was like the literal thing we were thinking, because we were like, oh, we could just build a house up there if they wanted to share some of that space. And it turned out that he was interested in that, but he was like, I don't even know if you guys are gonna like it here. So why don't you guys move here to see if you like it first? And we don't know what we're gonna do as far as like living out here or whatever, like being out here for a long time. But we did have to kind of do some upgrades to this place in order to make it suitable for, all six of us, because it did start out as a 720 square foot place, but then he added a room, so it's a little bit bigger than that. But yeah, like I was just talking to a friend, I was like, man, we want to live in a life of adventure, you know what I'm saying? And we were used to cul-de-sac, meth heads, right? Homeless people, like all of the like suburban problems, kind of suburban, kind of urban problems that we were having. Nothing crazy, but we were always on the go. Life was so fast, and it just was like, man, I do not enjoy this. And what we traded all of those problems for, or all that comfort for, because it's really like, it's like a perceived amount of comfort, right? Because it's like you're around people that have a tendency to do wild things. You know what I'm saying? Like, there were problems on that street. We had a car chase end in our cul-de-sac. Right in front of our door. The guy tried to flee on foot, got attacked by a dog. There was like, I don't know, 10 cop cars outside. And Yvette's calling me, I don't know how to use the weapon. And I'm trying to talk her through clearing the house. There was a man who just came into our house who I think had dementia or something like that. We've had multiple people try to, get in our backyard. There's homeless in the back. Remember that guy? You don't remember that guy. We were staying at the Airbnb, and that guy was trying to get in. He was like, I thought I left my dog here. Remember that?
Yeah.
Anyway, all these security issues I'm having, you know what I'm saying? Where it's like this perceived, like, oh my gosh, you're in this cul-de-sac. It's all these people around you, a bunch of random white people. It's great. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, I traded that for coyotes, rattlesnakes, super hot weather, a small house,
One bathroom.
But I am, and we didn't have to make it that drastic of a change, but I'm home all the time. Like I can't, for the past 2-3 years, I've been going to work every day. You know what I'm saying? Out of the home. And I am not a out of home working father. You know what I'm saying? I'm just not. Our family isn't set up that way. I'm expected to be home. Not by Yvette, but by the kids for sure. And I also think this stage of life. All right, here you go.
Babe, I'm listening to
You
you.
squint your eyes, you cross your arms. What do you have to say?
I cross my arms to hide my belly. Go.
What do you have to say?
Nothing. I'm listening. Finish your thoughts.
So, yeah, like, I believe I should be home, working from home or stay at home dad. Like, that's just where we're at. and I feel better that way. And that's where I belong. So that's kind of what prompted the move. Now, someone asked, "Are we happy? Like, how are the babies? Like, are you guys happy with this change?" And we were just talking about this.
Happy is such an interesting word because I feel like it's based on what's happening. It's circumstantial. It's fleeting. And so I will say that this move, it has had its challenges. It's not necessarily, oh, now everything's perfect and happy-go-lucky. It has definitely had its challenges. We are all up in each other's space. We have one bathroom. The bathroom is, did you touch me because I'm saying too much?
No.
The bathroom is like the hallway. So
Yeah.
in order to get from one side of the house to the other side of the house, you have to walk through the bathroom.
Plug your nose.
And if someone's in the bathroom or showering, it's just kind of like there's no, how like moms or parents usually like go to the bathroom to hide or take a moment for themselves. There's none of that.
Hiding.
There's none of that here.
No place to hide.
And so, and it is tough too because we have this beautiful property and it's really nice to be outside. And right now it's summer and it's really hot. And so it's not as pleasant to be outside. So it's either like you go outside in the morning or you go outside in the evening, but during the day, everyone's like inside trying to keep cool. And so I feel like we moved like right at the end of spring, well into summer, and it's been an adjustment. Also, it's just less space. So it's like it's just an adjustment. I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
However, I have seen a change in my husband. I've seen I feel like you are a lot more present with yourself and you're doing all the things. Wow, was that a bubble that just came from my mouth?
I don't know.
But I feel like I feel like for me, it's really nice to see Glenn and how he is adapting to this environment. I feel like you're adapting really well. I feel like
You do?
I do. I feel like you're being intentional about creating space for yourself here and setting boundaries around your wellness, your mental and your physical wellness. I think that because we have been in a season of transition, a lot of the things that we have hoped to focus on while being here have not been able to take priority because we're getting adjusted here.
Yeah.
We've had to do some things in order to make, like Glenn said, make the home comfortable for a family of 6. And I've been trying to prioritize like making sure the kids are okay with this move because we really did uproot them from their home. Like the home we lived in before this is the only home Uzi has known. He was literally born there and lived his whole life there.
Yeah.
And so yeah. What was the question? Are you happy?
Yeah.
Yeah. I am. I have found myself questioning the decision. I think anytime you make a big move or decision like this, it's like,
Yeah. Yeah.
like you're like really like overdoing this, and then you do it, and you're like, oh shoot, what did we do? Especially when you're adjusting to some of the lack of comfort. And so I have found myself in a place where it's like, okay, what did we do? Was this the right move? Yada, yada, yada. And when I go down the questions of why did we do this? How are we moving toward the life we want? I do believe that we made the right decision. I do believe that even as challenging, because even when we were selling the home and we were dealing with that roller coaster ride, it was insane. I think even our real estate agent hadn't really experienced anything like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so when we were going through that, it's hard because it's like one of those things where it's like, okay, Lord, is this you shutting the door and we're like trying to force it open? And there was still this overwhelming peace that we had, or at least I can speak for myself, that I had in the selling of the home process. It got to the point where it's like, okay, if it doesn't go through, it doesn't go through. If it does, it does. But we had made this intentional decision that no matter what, we are moving to the farm. And so whatever that looks like, we are finally choosing the life that we want rather than settling for the life that we had. And so I see God moving in all of it. And so I am ready. Like I'm at peace, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. I don't know. I just feel like happy is such an not frugal, but like it's not the word I would use.
Yeah, and I want to say too, telling the kids and their adjustment has been very interesting. We told the kids that we were gonna sell the house, and they were like, "So we're gonna be homeless." Right? They just didn't understand. So what happens? We don't own a house anymore. Like that was like that thing. And I was like, our last name Henry means ruler of the house, right? And so what I've been discovering lately is that your house is not the actual building, right? It's your body, right? Your body is your home. That's houses your spirit, your soul, your mind, right? It's not the house. So you can be comfortable in a house all you want to, but if you're not comfortable in your body, who cares, right? And that's the kind of discussion I was having with myself and Yvette. And then there was another thing where I had this thing where it's like, if my wife isn't comfortable, like then I'm failing. You know what I'm saying? Like if my wife isn't like, she doesn't, and I think looking back, like Yvette had a pretty great setup, I think, in life as her home. You know what I'm saying? Like things weren't as comfortable. I mean, they were actually really comfortable. You know what I mean? But even still, there was things that could be more comfortable. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm like, if I'm using her comfort as my standard for my success, then I'm failing because I'm constantly working on making life for my family comfortable. And I was telling, I was telling my therapist this, and he was like, okay, well, and then I was just talking to him. I was just like, but it's crazy because I don't know anybody who went through a rough season, right? Like a desert type of season, and they didn't turn out more grateful. And I feel like that's what this is. It's like we have our necessities, right? Like we have our home, we have a place to lay our head, we have each other, we have food, and there's a longing for adventure that we are experiencing here that I don't know if we would have gotten anywhere else. And if we did get it somewhere else, it had to be on the schedule and it had to be planned out, and we had to have all our ducks in a row, and lunch had to be, you know what I'm saying? Like it was so many different things that required everything to be aligned in a more suburban part of the town or wherever. And so I just rely now way more on just being present. And that was important to me right now. Yeah, it's really hard to explain, but the kids are doing okay. They're doing actually really well. They all share a big room back there. They have kind of like a little medium area, and then Anaya has her side, and the boys have their side. And it was very uncomfortable in the beginning. There was no carpet in there, but Yvette has made this house a home. She keeps finding things to adjust. We had a huge issue with the water when we first moved here. It was like iron all in the water. So we had to like adjust the filtration system, and like it was ridiculous. And like to do something, you have to do it, right? Like in order to take out the trash, you have to get all the trash and take it all the way up to the top of the property. In order to, like yesterday I spent the whole day working on a freaking trampoline. And by the end of the day, all these little like pines were inside of the trampoline, and I had to cut down branches so that the pines wouldn't end up all in the trampoline, like little stuff like that. And so there's there's a level to the work that needs to be done that I especially like it because I'm not having to be like, here, handyman, come put this together for me. You know what I'm saying? Hey, homeboy, come. You need a couple dollars. Come do this. Like I'm not paying. It's not a service thing. It's like, man, just do what you got to do, and try not to take so long doing it so you can do something else. So, you know, I like this season. It's a very like if you're watching a movie, this will be the interesting part. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, I life was feeling so stale down there. You know, in proximity to, you know, some individuals that probably didn't have my best intentions in mind. And I feel like I'm weeding out some of the grossness. You know what I'm saying, so to speak. But yeah. This dog. Yeah.
Yeah. And so did we say how large this property was already?
It's 20 acres.
Yeah, so we're on a 20-acre farm. And what has been really nice is, I don't know if you guys, Lily, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Bennett gang, but
Oh, yeah.
they came and spent June with us. They are a family that is full-time traveling on the road. And so that was really cool because the kids got built-in playmates, and then they got to do karate with Devontae in the mornings.
Yep.
And it was really nice. And I think like long term, and I feel like we've mentioned this before, but long term, we desire to own property of our own where we can host retreats and have people come out and stay with us and possibly share property with other people so that we can build our own village per se. And so I feel like this place so far has given us the opportunity to experience things like that in the direction that we are trying to move. Another reason that we sold our house was because we wanted an RV, and we want to be a family that travels. We don't want to be full-time RVers, but we want to be able to pick up and go and see the country and possibly explore other states where we could move our family because we're not tied down to California.
Yeah.
And so,
Okay. You want to say this? Go ahead.
we found the RV, y'all.
Yeah.
We found the RV. We made the deposit. The repairs or there's like a couple of things that are getting done on it, but we will probably be picking it up in the next week or so. And so that is super exciting. Hopefully all the, what is it called? The guy who's going to check it.
Oh, inspector.
The inspection goes well.
Yeah.
Buying an RV is kind of like buying a house, actually. So there's that. But we are looking forward to the adventures ahead. We have plenty of space to park the RV now. And because we live life like we live it, Glenn doesn't have to like report into an office or anything like that. And I'm a stay-at-home mom and we homeschool. And so we'll be able to like do school on the road. We'll be able to still keep up with all the things on the road. And I am super excited about that because I feel like that is what we've always, Glenn and I separately, even when I was dreaming of being a teacher, I dreamed that summers would be spent in an RV traveling or traveling somewhere. So
Yeah.
So I feel like we're just like we're doing what we said we would do, and that feels good.
Yeah, and it was a long time ago when I was touring with the Dream Junkies, and this is a group I was in, right? And some other guys. We were all hitting the road and going to different parts of the world, and we had a 40-foot coach bus. Shout out to Marcus Graham who let us get his coach bus. I told you to go around the other side, Raya. Please don't come back through here. And take the dog with you, please.
Close the door.
And you got to close the door, buddy.
Both doors. Right. Is Uzi crying? Yeah.
Go get your brother, please.
Close the door, Ryan.
Why is he crying? He's not getting the ball?
He can't get down.
He's stranded.
Go help him then.
What the heck? Or take the dog.
We're gonna have to do this in the evenings.
No, this is exactly what they get. This is exactly what they get, the people. This is what they want to see. They want to see us lifing. They want to see how good it is, right? Orange Moon, Erica Badu, anybody? Okay, so yeah, I was traveling with the Dream Junkies and we're taking this 40-foot bus across country. And I'm in this bus, and this was an interesting stage because I felt like the people I was with, like, we weren't all grateful to be together. Like, we just was like, especially me, I was like, man, I got a bed at home. But I would much rather be taking my family on this trip to show them how beautiful this country is. Like, it's a great, beautiful country, right? Now, I'm not going to get all America on you, but, like, this country is freaking phenomenally beautiful. Like, the Pacific Northwest, the East Coast, the South, California itself, like Maine, like the Vermont, like those cities are freaking beautiful. And those states are beautiful. So like, I'm really trying to like, show the family, the country. And honestly, the world. We just got back from, not just got back, but we went to Kevin Melissa's Forever Frederick's 20-year anniversary. And let me tell you something. We went to Kevin Melissa's 20-year anniversary. And for me, it was serendipitous because on their 15th anniversary, we were together. Me, Kev, Melissa, Theo, and Uriah were together. Yvette, the same day, June 26, 2015, Uzi was born. I was at a shoot with Kevin Melissa when Uzi was born, and I was with them of 2024 for their 20-year anniversary.
Oh, this year.
This year. So the fact, like, for me, you know, I was at the birth. I mean, I missed the birth of Uzi. I was on this shoot. Kev consoled me. We became friends in that moment. And it was like all love. He was super dope dude. Melissa was super sweet. We have done podcasts with them. They've always kind of been around, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, but they've added so much value to us. And then to go on that trip with them, for me, and to hang out with all our friends, new friends, you know what I'm saying? Like Maddie James and Chris, freaking Angel and Marcus, you know,
Tommy and
Cody, Spice and AD, you know what I'm saying? Her name is AD, right? And then freaking Josh, like everybody, Josh Tab, right? Like freaking DeVal and Kadeem, like it just was so many good people there. And we just got to be like, all right, this feels like where we like, I don't know, like it felt like we were among our peers. You know, Keith Lee was there and you know, his wife Ronnie. It was just super dope. And I was very encouraged. And I want to live life more like that, you know? And so I don't know how we do that right now, but I know that we're closer than we were, for sure. But yeah, babe. I think that's a good place to end it.
Yeah, we have other questions, but I feel like we can answer that in the next episode.
Okay.
Or maybe a couple questions
Per episode.
because we do have some emails. I know y'all been still emailing us. Praise you for that, and we will get to those hopefully.
Okay. How married are you, babe?
I know I'm married.
You've been doing a lot in here. What? Can what? The dog come in? Are you guys all in the house now? Uzi still out there? Is he crying?
What's going on with your armpits?
Why you have paper towels underneath your armpits? Put some deodorant on.
Or take a shower first.
It's antiperspirant. I'm hungry. All right.
How married are you?
I'm so married. I stayed up last night and set up all this stuff. It was, it's crazy.
That's not for me.
Well, it isn't.
I mean, I guess it saved me from having to do something, but there's no way I could have done this.
Well, the thing is, you started the dishwasher. I couldn't shower until after the dishwasher was done because the water's like so crazy. So I was up just doing this. Really, I didn't even want to do it. You know what I'm saying? But I was up doing it.
Well, can you imagine if you didn't do it? Because then we would have had to wait for you to do it this morning.
Yeah, but I couldn't do that because I was cutting the trees down yesterday and all that stuff got on my body, so I had to shower.
I know, but what I'm saying is, aren't you grateful you did it last night?
I am grateful I did it last night.
Versus having to wake up this morning and we wait for you to set it up and then record.
I've been talking about doing this podcast for a long time, y'all. And it's just been like, well, just do it. Like, just whatever. No, not right now. You gotta wait.
Go get water out of the barn. Go get water out of the
Oh
barn.
my goodness. There's the barn
In the refrigerator.
fridge has water in it. We'll make food right now.
Naya, go. You play too much. You've been up since. She's been up since 5 a.m.
Well, good. Then she'll go to sleep early.
Hopefully.
Why were you up so early?
She had a bad dream.
What was it about? Who? Trolls? Okay. Why are you looking at me like...
Yeah, why are you looking like that?
Go, get out of here. All right. How married are you?
That was really your how married are you? Okay, fine. I'm so married.
Baby, meal prepped all day yesterday.
That's the responsibility. Oh. Where did you go? Oh, you went to New Orleans. Okay. I'm so married that when I knew you were coming home from New Orleans, I was like, I'm going to wash your sheets so that you could have a nice, clean sheets when you got home to go to sleep in. Because I knew you had stayed up late that night and then you had like a 5:30 a.m. flight. And so I was like, he's going to be tired. Let me wash these sheets. I don't even know if you noticed, but at least I did it.
I could have slept in the chicken coop and been fine. I was so tired, but I appreciate it. I did not notice.
And that's just how married we are.